Today we're exploring the vast landscape of copyright as it pertains to screenwriters. So what do you copyright? When do you copyright it? Why should you copyright it? I'm going to talk about my process. And this question comes a lot because people hear of stories of someone stealing someone else's idea and making a film and they get rich and this person doesn't. And while that does happen, sadly, it's not as common as you might think it is. So there are still some best practices, some things to do just to kind of protect yourself. As long as you're doing those, you're generally going to be fine. Do things happen? Yes, but I will tell you, most studios want to avoid the litigation, so they are very careful. This is why people don't like accepting unsolicited manuscripts and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about copyright. Hopefully this is going to be helpful to you. There are several links below, so be sure to check those out. If you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. If you like and find value in this, please be sure to hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Let's jump in. We have to get the disclaimer out of the way right at the top. I am not a copyright lawyer. I'm not even a lawyer. I don't even play one on TV, okay? I am not a lawyer. So if you have a specific question, ask a lawyer. I am talking to you out of my experience as a screenwriter, as a professor of screenwriting. So these are the things that I've studied, that I know, but consult a lawyer if you have a specific question. Please do that. So what is copyright? Well, the easiest definition is the right to copy. So if you create something, okay, you own the copyright to it. You have the right to copy it. You have the right to put it in other mediums. You have the right to do other things. You can also sell your entire copyright or portions of your copyright to other people to let them then copy your created work. So it's just a right to copy. Now, when you create something, the creator automatically, upon the creation of the thing, the creator has all the copyright. It's your copyright. So you write a script, you write from fade in all the way to fade out, the end. It's yours. You don't have to do anything else. In some ways, you already own the copyright on that thing because you created it. And as your creation, it's protected under copyright for you. But what that also means is you have to make the complete thing, okay? You don't have a copyright claim on anything that you've only written the first half of the story. Nope, it's the first half. It's not the whole thing. So you don't own the copyright yet. The copyright is there when you finish the whole thing. So you write a paper for school. When you were in school, or if you are in school, you write a paper for school, you finish it, you turn it in, you own the copyright on that. When you write a short story on your own or for a class or for somebody else, you own the copyright for it. This is why if you're writing short stories or poems and things like that and you try to publish them in magazines, they want to buy specific rights. First North American rights, first world rights. That's what those are. They are buying the rights to copy your created work in that space for that time. Nobody else is going to get to copy it in that space, in that realm. And that's really all copyright is. So it's not confusing as long as you have a whole thing. There are things, though, that you cannot copyright. You cannot copyright an idea. You cannot copyright a title. You cannot copyright a synopsis, okay? Those are not copyrightable, okay? It's a created work that you fully create from beginning to end. It's got to be the whole thing, okay? Now you can copyright that thing. It is important to note, however, that every country is different. Every country has different laws under which they operate. Now, there are some international laws that kind of govern things. You could look up the Berne Convention. There's one that kind of governs created work and how that's supposed to be applied. But every country still kind of has their own thing. There's not an international or global copyright kind of law that applies to everybody. So every country is different, and it depends on your country of origin and where you create the thing. That's where your copyright is then applied. Here in the US, copyright is held by the creator. So if I don't sell it to anybody, if I just keep the copyright myself, I have it. I retain the copyright for my entire life plus 70 years, and then it can go into public domain. So if you're like, I want to write a story about public domain, something in public domain, okay, find somebody that wrote something. They have to have been dead for 70 years, and then their thing might be in public domain. Sometimes it's different because sometimes they will the rights to an organization or to a group of people or to a relative, and that then perpetuates the copyright of that created work. So you just have to be aware a little bit of the laws. Generally, it's the life of the creator plus 70 years. The Berne Convention, I think, is life of the creator plus 50 years. So it just depends where you're at. Okay, so the next question, when should you get a copyright? Well, you can't get a copyright until you have a completed thing. So you should get one after you have a completed thing. Now, does that mean you write your first draft, you need to get a copyright of that, and then you revise it and write a second draft, you need to get copyright of that, and then a third one, a copyright? Probably not, okay? I tend to not do it that way, and I'll talk about kind of my process here in a moment. But the thing is, you can't copyright it until you have it finished. So you do want to make sure you have a completed thing, and once you have a completed thing, then you can choose to copyright it at any point. So the sooner you copyright it, in some ways the better, but it really depends on when you're going to start showing people. So if you've finished a thing and you're not going to show people for another 3 or 4 years, it's okay to wait and hold off on getting it protected officially by copyright. So how do you register for copyright? Because you want to, yes, you have the copyright, right? I told you, you have the copyright as soon as you finish the thing, and that's true. But you also have to establish the date. And it's kind of hard to do that with hearsay, and an easy way to do it legally is to register it with a copyright office from your country. The US has a US Copyright Office, so you can register your script. You can do it all online. It's like $65. You submit it. They will send you a documentation that says, hey, it was registered, and there you go. And you've got proof that you wrote this thing on this date, and here's what it was. And it's admissible in any court of law. So if anybody has any problems, you can just pull that in and you're going to be good. Every judge is going to accept that because it's a U.S. government issued thing. So, and other countries have similar copyright offices. So if you're not in the U.S., you'll want to find out what your copyright office is and what the process is to do that. Well, but why can't you just register it with the WGA? And you can register it with the WGA, the Writers Guild of America. Here's the thing with the WGA though. They are there primarily for credit attribution to make sure that writers are getting paid fairly for the work that they are doing. So you can actually register other things with the WGA. You can register a summary, you could register a synopsis of a series, you can register a part of a draft, an outline if you want. You can register full drafts and full scripts. But again, those are there to show where the credit attribution is so that some sleazy producer doesn't come along and like, not all producers are sleazy. Actually, most of them are really awesome. And they come in and they like try to jump credits. Okay. So they'll try to jump a credit and be like, oh no, I should get creator credit for that too. And if you've registered things with the WGA, they'll go back and look and be like, you weren't on this one, this one, this one, or this one. At what point did you help create? Because we're not showing anything. You're not getting any credit. And that's where that can help. So is the WGA an option for you? Well, yes, but not all courts of law will accept the WGA registration. They might accept that as supplement, but they really want a government kind of thing of copyright. So you kind of want to do the copyright thing first. And then if you're going to do some other stuff, maybe the WGA. Here's how I kind of navigate this and what I do. When I have a completed draft, and it might be the 4th version of it because I've rewritten it, but now I'm going to start showing people. Before I send it to an agent, before I send it to a manager, before I send it to other friends, I register it with a copyright. I just do, it's just my habit. It doesn't cost that much. I just do it. And then it's done. And then I'll send it out. If though, I'm going to start going to pitch something. So I'm going somewhere to pitch something. I'm not showing anything I'm writing. I've created a story and I'm going to pitch it. I will write out a summary or a synopsis or something, and I will register that with a WGA. That just to show ownership, so that it's like, hey, I had this, and then if they want to jump in after, okay, but I'm at least showing here's where the credit attribution starts. So if you want to do things and want to do both, It's totally fine. I tend to only copyright my scripts. I don't really register them with the WGA because it's a full script. It's already done. I don't need to do that. If I have a partial thing, I tend to register that with the WGA. If I'm going out to pitch it publicly before I start sharing it publicly, I will do that. But I still need to have a complete story. So I don't really register log lines or short summaries. If I'm registering anything, it's a complete story from beginning to end. I have the whole idea for the pilot. I have the whole idea for the film, whatever. It's all written out. I write it out. But then I'm just verbally pitching. So those I register with the WGA, but I can't register that with the Copyright Office because it's not a complete work. The screenplay is a complete work. An outline of a screenplay is not a complete work. It's an outline. So I can't register that with the Copyright Office, but that I could do with the WGA. Now, there is no way that I have answered all of your questions about copyright. If you have a specific question, drop it below. If I know the answer, I'll tell you. If not, I might say like consult a lawyer. If it's a bigger thing that I can kind of deal with in a future video, I will do that. Hopefully, though, this has been helpful to you as you try to navigate copyright and all that stuff. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like, subscribe, bell, all those things. Be sure to check out links below. Thank you again for watching. And when you go to tell a story, don't forget to copyright it when you get done. But when you go to tell a story that matters. See you later.